paragraphs. A simple trick to expand your writing, make it go deeper, to create essays much easier, and to write stories, any kind of writing, to really expand your thinking. First step of all writing really is stream of consciousness, first draft, just trying to get some ideas down on page. So if the writing prompt were, what's the story of your name? I would just start out thinking anything I could to go with that. My name is Evan Nichols. There's nothing special about my name. My first name is Evan. Anything that pops in your head. Well, really it's Andrew, but I don't use my first name. I use my middle name. My last name is Nichols, which is like nickels, the coin. So sometimes I call myself Professor 5 Cents. I've never really loved my name all that much. So here's stream of consciousness, paragraph. There's different ideas in there, and the trick to think in paragraphs is to go back afterwards and try to find something you could use. My name is Evan Nichols. That's pretty general. That's the whole topic. There's nothing special about my name. There's a little bit of judgment there, opinion. That could be a whole paragraph easily, just sort of evaluating whether the name is special or not. My first name is Evan. It's really Andrew. My middle name is Evan. That is another idea. What's going on there, whether you go by Evan or Andrew, that's a paragraph easily just explaining that. My last name is Nichols. You could talk about what it means to be a Nichols, but then it also talks about the nickname here, Professor 5 Cents. That makes me think, oh, a whole paragraph on nicknames. And then the last one, I've never really loved my name. You could easily write about your emotional relationship to your name and how that changed in school and childhood and growing up. There's 3 or 4 paragraphs all right here ready to go. So I start out with my first one. When I was born, my parents named me Andrew Evan Nichols. They liked the name Andrew, but they weren't wild about Andy. Unfortunately, that's what everyone started calling me right off the bat. Oh, look at little Andy, Andykins. They sent presents for Andy. Called up, asked how Andy was doing, and so on. My mom tried to hold the line, correcting them. Andrew is fine. But it was hopeless. After a few weeks of this, they decided to switch completely to my middle name, Evan. I've been Evan ever since. So all that is just coming out of these couple sentences up here where I identified some sort of subtopic talking about middle name, first name, confusion. Next one down here is the nicknames one that I mentioned. It starts with the topic sentence. I have a lot of nicknames. Simple, basic, clean. Growing up, my mom called me Ev. Later, my brother and sister called me Ez. To my college roommate, I was E-Man. As I became a teacher, I was Mr. 5 Cents because of my last name Nichols being like Nichols. And then Professor 5 Cents or Profesor Cinco Centavos. My Uncle Steve calls me Evanowski. All that just came out of that one sentence in my stream of consciousness where I talked about being called Professor 5 Cents. There's usually more to say. Then I go into one more. The weird thing about names is that when we have weird names, we want normal names, and when we have normal names, we think they're boring. So this is that last idea. I've never really loved my name all that much, my emotional relationship to the name. Our relationship with our name often changes throughout our lifetime, or at least from childhood to adulthood. I always thought Evan was a little bit weird growing up. I mean, you never saw it in a souvenir shop, on a coffee mug, or a keychain. In fact, I only met one other Evan growing up. He was on my soccer team and had white hair. Random comment, maybe I cut it later, but I'm starting to move from a first draft brainstorm to organization. One idea, another idea, a third idea. Okay, and then sometimes you go back and you cut certain paragraphs, expand others, revise them. But this is the writing process, moving from this drafting idea of just random thinking in paragraphs and really starting to organize your work. I hope that's helpful.